what's this grand difference between referral marketing and word of mouth, right? Are they the same? Can I use one over the other?
Word of mouth is something that happens naturally. It's a natural process. It's part of our human nature. I mean, think about when was the last time that you got a Netflix show recommended, or a restaurant, or an online brand. That happens pretty much every day. So
today, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So there you go. No, it's part of, literally, of our human nature. So we love talking about our experiences, what we've learned, what we bought, and what we've experienced. So at the end of the day, these recommendations are happening on a regular basis without any other incentives beyond the fact that we want to provide information to people that we care about. So when it just becomes part of our human nature, it's all a matter of incentivizing that. So that's where referral marketing actually comes to play. So when you can see the referrals and recommendations, you can see them in practice every day. If you're running an e-commerce store, running a referral program, it's basically part of something that might have already been happening on your store for a while. So that's something I already tell merchants is that if you have a good product, if you have a good kind of customer journey and customer satisfaction, basically your customers are happy that are buying from you, you already have referrals going on and you already have recommendations going on, because your customers are likely to be sharing what they've bought from you with friends and family. So when you set up a referral program, you're just incentivizing that. One of the things that I like to always to bring up is the fact that at the end of referral marketing, it's all about reminding people about this incentive that they can share with their friends and family. When we look at incentives, obviously nobody's going to recommend something to their friends and family, something that didn't like themselves or they didn't enjoy. So this has to be part of a kind of bigger customer-centric approach as a company, but always with that in mind, and the fact that you're just reminding people of something that's available for them, in the sense that in some cases, we've actually seen referral programs that perform really well, in which the friend was actually getting a bigger reward than the actual customers that was making the recommendation in the first place. And that just comes to explain that most of the recommendations that we see happening are from people that just want to provide something useful to other people that they care about. So again, it's just kind of an extension of something that hopefully it's already happening in your store, because if it's happening, it means that you're doing something well.
What I'm hearing is that if the product is not already kind of deriving or driving word of mouth, then referral gets a little harder to set up.
And it has to be part of kind of like a bigger strategy as a company, in the sense that, again, you need to have a good product, you need to have customers that are already happy buying from it, and then also a good customer journey, in the sense that you also have a good customer support team in case that anything goes wrong. This team is here to step in and solve the problem for you. So it has to achieve customer satisfaction before you start thinking about setting up a referral program. And at the end of the day, it's also a numbers game, in the sense that if you run an NPS, Net Promoter Score survey on your store, and you ask your customers, would you be willing to refer us to your friends? Again, if things are going well, you're going to have 9 or 10 out of 10 customers saying, yes, I'll be willing to refer you to my friends and family. But the reality is that only a fraction of those will end up referring. And that's not because they don't like your store or your product. It's just that daily, life happens, and we get caught in the middle of things that we need to do on a daily basis. So it's all a matter. That's why I was saying before that referral marketing, a lot of it's about reminding people about the offer and reminding people that this is something that exists and they can benefit from. So again, it has to be part of a much kind of wider strategy as a company.
So when is the right time to actually start thinking of referral?
When is that a good time? Anytime. Now, when will you start seeing results that you can actually quantify and say, okay, this is starting to become a channel? We've seen that stores with less than 100 or 200 orders per month don't really see that much traction from it in the short or medium term. So that will probably be a good range on stores that are starting to grow and they're starting to get those 100, 200 orders per month. It will be probably a good time for them to start thinking about it as a sales channel in the long run.
Is there also a balance of what NPS score you might already be achieving? Like you could be at 100 orders, but you have like spectacular NPS. Would that also, like in your experience, have you seen something like that?
It really depends on the product too. Like if you have a really visual product, or you have a product that people are going to use in a social environment, that's a lot easier to refer than something that might not have a lot of exposure. So actually, one of the examples that I thought about bringing up with you guys today, skateboards. That's a super social product, and any referral program that you run around skateboards, it's going to typically work well because you're going to use it in an environment where other people are going to be looking at it, and you have the option of talking to other people about it. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of factors that come to play, but again, if you have a good product in general, and then at the same time you can show it in an environment where other people can interact with it, that's huge.
Let's say, I'm at a good enough NPS, or maybe not, but I definitely have crossed about 200 odd, orders, and maybe this is the right time to actually take it seriously, right? What are going to be my top 3, steps and strategies that I kind of need to put in place to have a successful referral program now?
The number one thing is promotion in general. So I would say that the number one task is to notify past customers about your referral program. So once you start, at least with ReferralCandy, once you start running a referral program with us, we'll automatically invite new customers to join the program. We'll give them a referral link so they can start sharing it with their friends. But previous customers might not be aware of it yet until they make a purchase again. So we always recommend merchants to set up some sort of email campaign notifying people about the referral program and giving them the option to opt in and get their referral link. So that's kind of the number one option. Obviously also running some sort of drip campaign where you're notifying people every couple of weeks or even once a month still makes a difference, and you're reminding them about the offer. The second thing that I would say is to make it easy for customers to understand, but also to pitch. So we probably, pretty much everybody watching this video probably remembers the Dropbox referral program or the PayPal referral program or Uber. Those were really easy to understand and were really easy to pitch. And so that's part of the success of those programs, that you could just have a conversation with your friend, and you couldn't really have to go back and look at the conditions again. You could just tell them top of mind exactly what they were getting out of it, and also what you were getting out of it as well. So making it easy, and also making it easy to achieve the rewards. So I've seen referral programs that make it complicated in the sense that if they offer a big reward at the end of the journey after referring X number of friends, and each number of friends have to perform some sort of action, you get a big reward. It looks and sounds good in theory, but at the end of the day, it's typically better to offer something small but often rather than a big reward at the end of kind of like a difficult journey. And then the last thing will be to adapt your rewards to your customers' behavior. This one's kind of a no-brainer. So if you're selling a product that your customers are buying on a recurring basis, it might make more sense to give them a discount towards a future purchase for every friend that they refer. And on the other hand, if you're selling a product that doesn't sell that often just because of the nature of the product, give them a gift or give them cash for every friend that they are referring.
What about the incentive itself? Have you seen any kind of patterns out there in terms of industries itself, or maybe the order value itself?
We always recommend to go with the bigger number. So, if giving a $100 reward is bigger than a 50% discount, offer the bigger number. This is kind of like numbers, price psychology that we always tell merchants to put it into practice. But then in terms of what rewards tend to work the best, honestly, it's really tied to the product that you're selling. So I always give the same example because it's pretty self-explanatory. We work with a bunch of e-commerce stores that sell mattresses online, and obviously that's something that your customers are not going to buy again from you anytime soon. If you buy a mattress, you're probably not going to buy another one in the next 5 or 10 years even. So giving them a discount for every friend that they refer, it's not really going to work because they're never going to use it, and actually they might even get frustrated from it. So it's better to give them some sort of accessory or some sort of gift or cash even. Now, for the majority of e-commerce stores, if you think about clothing and apparel, food and beverage, technology, all those companies are selling a product that could, or selling multiple products that could be easily sold again in the near future. So given an incentive on that future purchase, it's key because you're not only acquiring new customers through your customers network, but you're also retaining the ones that you have. You're giving them an additional reason to come back to your store and buy from you again.
What are the signals that I should be picking up? And for example, how does ReferralCandy, for example, help me out to actually now refine and make and sharpen and iterate this whole program, right? And make it more and more meaningful over time. Like, do you think that there's a good meaningful process over there, or is it something that a one-time referral program and you should be good to go?
We always recommend merchants to keep an eye on it, especially at the beginning, and just see how it's working and change the rewards if they think that it's not getting the results that they would like to get. So kind of like the number one thing that we look at to measure the performance of our referral program, it's related to revenue. So that's how we measure how well our referral program is going, is how much revenue you're generating from it, and also what's the percentage of referral sales compared to the total number of sales that your store is getting. So those are the two main things. And so it's really based around those two things. Now, when it comes to things that you can do to change or to kind of like improve the program, it's all very related to the rewards and also the promotion. Again, making sure that you're offering something that it's useful for not only your customer but their customer's friend. It's going to make a difference on how much these customers are going to end up going and to share the referral link to share your store. One thing that will be interesting to look at, which is something you can look in ReferralCandy, it's how many people are sharing their link on social media. So you can actually track how many social media shares you're getting from that, and also how many clicks, so how many store visits you're getting from it. So if you have a low number of social media shares compared to the number of customers that you have, maybe the offer is not interesting for them enough to share. Now, if you're getting a lot of people sharing on social media, but then not that many people are clicking on it, it might be that the friend offer, it's not compelling enough for those people to actually click and go to your store. So those are indicators that you can follow to kind of like tune in the program. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's all a matter of promotion. So if you can have a post-purchase email flow in which customers are getting invited to join the referral program, but also reminded about it in the next few weeks or months, that really makes a difference. And then also having, I guess this is also part of kind of whatever strategy the store wants to run, whether they want to have an open referral program or a closed referral program. The closed referral program will mean that you need to become a customer in order to join the program and get your referral link, or open means that you can just have a kind of like a call to action on your website that says refer friends, and then it means that if I land on your website, if I land on your online store, I might not be the perfect customer for it, or I might not be attracted by your products because of whatever the nature of your product is, but I know somebody that might be interested in your products. I can grab a referral link and share it with my network of friends, and you could possibly access my network through me. So again, that's kind of a strategy, depends on whatever the store wants to do, but it's another option that we've seen that works really well. They sell electric skateboards. So again, this is the example that I was mentioning earlier. It's super visual in the sense that it's a really cool thing to see, even if you're not part of kind of like the skateboarding world, but it's a really cool thing to see. And even more if you're part of it, when you're probably skate park and you're hanging out with other people, they're going to see the product, they're going to like it. So I think that's one of the main reasons that of why this referral program worked so well, is because they had such a visual product that it was very easy to start a conversation around it. So
and very aspirational, very aspirational too, because you're like, oh wow, I want that skateboard, because maybe I'll be able to skateboard like him if I get it.
Exactly. You see it in action, and you're seeing it with people that probably already have experience using it. So yeah, they make it look easy. So yeah, so this is the number, the kind of like the second bullet point under the results probably gives a better idea on how much or what's kind of like the percentage of referrals that brands typically see. So whenever we get a new customer signing up a referral program on ReferralCandy, the baseline, again, if things go well in the sense that they set up rewards that make sense, and if they set up kind of like campaigns to remind customers about the program, and they set up some sort of notification, whether it's like a post-purchase email or post-purchase pop-up, we assume that it's going to get at least a 2% increase in sales, and it will become kind of like a sales channel down the line. So that's kind of like the bottom line that we typically see. Now, in terms of kind of like a really successful referral program, we've seen it, this one, as you can see here, it's 5% of all their orders are coming from the referral program, but we've seen programs that go up to 10 or 15% of all their sales, monthly sales, come from our referral program, which it might seem a low number, but when you compare the customer acquisition cost of our referral program versus ads, or versus kind of like how much it costs you to grow organically, grow your SEO over a number of years, it's actually really, really cheap, in the sense that also these customers that you're acquiring, you're also retaining your existing ones. So in terms of profitability, it really makes a difference. I don't know, I think we have an ROI number here on this case study, so maybe we can look at it. But again, if you scroll down on kind of like oh yeah, there you go. So I think we should be able, it's under word of mouth results. Oh yeah, there you go. So the second bullet point, they got a 28x return on investment on the referral program. So again, even if it was just a 5% increase in sales, the difference that it made in terms of how much money they invested in the referral program and the revenue they actually got from it, it was huge. And so I'll actually scroll down real quick so we can go through the other ones too. But these are kind of like the 3 main steps that they did to be able to run a successful referral program. So the first one is that they create a really good offer for new customers to join. So new customers or new refer customers or customers' friends got to start a pack with a bunch of different things that they could use on their new skateboard. And so it was really attractive because they had access to an offer that wasn't available to pretty much anybody else. So they were basically treating their customers' friends as special new customers.
Yeah.
And also their refer friends got a 20% off on a future purchase. And because Evolve not only sells skateboards, but they also sell accessories, they could easily use this coupon code to buy those accessories. So that was the number one. So obviously this attract a lot of attention. And so people that, as you can see there, this person that has over 3,000 subscribers on YouTube created a video review of himself using the skateboard and posted his referral link in the description. And so we've actually seen this a lot in the really successful referral programs, that a lot of unboxing videos in which they include the referral link. So YouTube is actually a really good channel for a lot of brands, especially those that have a really visual product. The second step was that they promote the referral program to their customer. So again, in this case, they just had a post-purchase email, which is this one. This is the kind of like the example of what the customers would get after a purchase. But also, if you scroll down, you'll see that they also had a call to action on the footer of the website that allowed people to join the referral program, even if they weren't part of the customer base. So that really, this is the example that I was mentioning to you earlier. If I land on their website, well, I might get myself an electric skateboard, but let's say that I don't know how to run a skateboard or how to use it, and I see it, but I have friends that are into it. I could get a referral link just so I can give my friends something cool, be like, hey, this might be interesting to you, and you can get some additional perks on your first purchase.
I'm gonna do that for my nephew, right? So I'm gonna
I
earn
will.
some. We can earn brownie points and get him a good discount on the skateboard.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's definitely do it, because I want to get one of these. So yeah, I'll get myself some accessories on my next purchase as well. And yeah, the third step is that they made it really easy for customers to share the referral program. So again, they added some interesting images to their social media preview images. So whenever you share the referral link, you'll have kind of like this cool image popping up. And so again, it's just kind of like a visual component that also helped whenever they were sharing their links on social media. So yeah, this is just kind of a summary. It's a combination of a product that's probably built for referral marketing, a good offer, and then also different ways for customers to access the referral program and also to share.
What stood out for me was how they kind of used it across their different channels in a very 360-degree way, right? You have kind of like micro-influencer marketing sort of coming into referrals. You also have it on your website, and you have a really any great Instagram content, right? Like the minute you have smart visuals, beautiful looking, inspirational and aspirational looking stuff, you're definitely going to click on it, if not buy it, right? So I think they kind of like morphed a very good marketing strategy also into the referral strategy, and it definitely, it looks pretty neat that way.
Influencer marketing is kind of part of referral marketing as well. People that follow influencers on social media, they're not necessarily just following celebrities. We're following people because they are experts in one particular field. So any recommendation that we get from them, we're gonna count it as trusted because their reputation is on the line as well, as a public figure. So yeah, it's influencer marketing is definitely a really interesting topic, and it has a lot more substance to it than a lot of people think. We tend to think about influencers as just people that are constantly posting selfies on social media.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot more behind that. So another example of a really, I don't know if I would say visual, but it's definitely kind of like an eye-opener product that generates conversations on its own. Okay, so that kind of like the whole idea behind Branch Basics is that pretty much all the cleaning products that we buy at a supermarket, what we're buying, it's mostly water and a plastic container, in the sense that there's a concentrated product that's diluted in water and it's packaged in plastic bottle, and that's most of what we're buying. So Branch Basics realized that, well, that's what you're basically paying for water, which is something you can access at home, and you're also paying for the plastic container, which you shouldn't really be buying or you shouldn't need to buy a new plastic container every time. And also that's, obviously bad for the environment and for, tossing our dishwasher cleaning supplies to the trash every time that we're done using them. So what Branch Basic created was a subscription service in which you get these plastic bottles that you're going to use for the whole lifetime of your account, basically. And then you also get that concentrate refills on a subscription basis. So what happens is that you get your detergent or whatever cleaning product it is, you get it in a small package that you can put it inside the bottle, refill it with water, and there you go. You have a perfectly functioning cleaning product that you can start using and obviously feel good about the fact that you're not wasting either water or wasting plastic products. So
absolutely.
It's such a eye-opener kind of product that it just strikes conversation itself.
And that's such a great starting point to actually word of mouth and hence referral, right? Because already product is something I'm definitely going to speak about with everybody that I know, that, hey, like this is how in a way, I feel like I'm having an impact on the environment, right?
Exactly. I mean, you're making an impact. You're feeling good about yourself too, because you've changed your kind of like old behaviors into something a little bit more, a little bit, that's better for everybody. And then at the end of the day, I mean, social status at the end of the day, and we like to share about stuff that we've learned or things that are new and other people might not be aware of. So we all have that friend that's always looking for new shows or new Netflix movies to recommend to the rest of the friends. This could be one of them, the fact that somebody subscribes to this, they see the difference.
I see an interesting number here that, I mean, of course, 10% already looks way better than what we were looking at Evolve, but I see this, and that's very interesting. There's so much of social media sharing and direct visits, unbundle these numbers a little bit for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So in this case, this was a referral program that performed really well in terms of revenue. So again, about 10% of their monthly sales coming from ReferralCandy. And so they were able to generate over 20,000 social media shares. So again, this is people that went and shared their referral link on social media and they got traffic from that. And they got 63,000 direct store visits. So that means that it's either people that shared their link on social media and people clicked on it and went to the store, or people that just shared the referral links on pretty much any other channel. So in a group chat or on their blog. So if they have a blog about, where they run about, this kind of stuff, they can put the referral links there, or just, that happen in a one-to-one basis. So, I email my referral link to a friend because I know that they're going to like it. So the direct store visits, it's kind of like all the visits that they got from referral links. And then, the social media shares, it's about people that decided to just go and share their link on social media.
Yeah. And just like you said, like this is a topic that lends itself so well to conversational currency, and especially on social. So just the fact that they could like blend that in so well with the referral program. What were the interesting things in Branch's, strategy? Yeah.
So, I mean, I would say that what it says, the challenge. Yeah, that's one of the parts that I particularly like about Branch Basics. We've actually, obviously we had run an interview with them for this case study, and I've seen them spoke at several conferences. And one of the things that they always bring up is the fact that referral marketing actually helped them grow as a company, in the sense that they are in a highly competitive industry, in the sense that most people don't go online to buy cleaning products. Whenever they think about buying cleaning products, such as something you put on your groceries list, and when you go to the grocery store you just grab it on your way home. So it's not something that we really put a lot of thought into it, and so they had to do a lot of education. So actually most of the content that they publish on their website, it's about education. So what we were describing earlier about letting people know what are you currently buying at the grocery store, the money that you could be saving, how you could be helping the environment in general. So education was part of it. And as they were saying, when they first started, they were tiny, nobody has heard of them. And so any marketing that they were running was about creating awareness. And so when you have a product that is just so revolutionary, not only as a product in terms of product development, but also in terms of how it revolutionized the way that we approach buying cleaning supplies, is that we never really stop to think that wait a second, most of what I'm buying at the grocery store, it could easily be replaced for something a little bit more natural. And so that's probably the part that I like the most about the program, is that a lot of companies run the referral programs kind of as an extension of something they're already doing, and we have our stores going well, we're getting a lot of sales, let's just run a referral program to increase it even more. Here was more about like, we really need to get the word out there, and so that's why it worked for them, I think.
Yeah. And the fact that it actually became so center stage to their entire revenue strategy, right?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so they run a subscription. So creating a reward system, it just made a lot of sense because they could reward their existing customers with percentage, in this case, dollar amount off their future purchase, but also friends were getting their first subscription for a little cheaper. So that's why it just works so well. So one thing that, I feel like a lot of the companies that we work with, including Christy Dawn, but also including Evolve Skateboards and also Branch Basics, is that they're companies that have a purpose, right? They have a reason why they are running their business. And in the case of Branch Basics and also Christy Dawn, there's a reason why there was like a really deep disconform with whatever was happening in one particular industry that kind of forced these founders to start a company that was going against kind of like the traditions of that industry. And Christy Dawn is a real example of that. So the founder of Christy Dawn, so she was working as a model. So she was really embedded into the kind of the clothing and apparel industry. Again, extremely competitive industry as well. And so she was really against the concept of fast fashion, in the sense that companies or clothing companies are coming up with products that are meant to not to last. We've seen that on pretty much any industry right now. It's kind of funny that this MacBook that I'm using for our call right now, literally the week on the second birthday, the battery stopped running. So I think these days products are meant to not to last.
Very well planned.
Exactly. Literally the week that was the second anniversary of me getting this MacBook, somehow I need to take it to a Mac store, so an Apple store, so they can look at the battery. So, we're seeing that everywhere. We're seeing that also in the fashion industry, in the sense that, my parents have clothes that they've owned for 30 years, and somehow I can't keep a pair of jeans for more than 3. So she was really against that, and she understood that she could make a difference, and so that's why she created Christy Dawn and created the brand. So in terms of the kind of like the top line results, so as you can see, the number of referral sales, so the percentage, it's not as big as the one that we saw for Branch Basics, is about 3%, but the ROI it was massive. They multiplied by 26 the return on the investment that they got, and they actually did a strategy that worked really well by working with influencers on both YouTube and also kind of like blogging influencers or people that wrote about the kind of like the clothing industry. And so when you have the way that products are designed these days, but it's kind of part of the reason why she started this brand. And so to go against the traditional concept of fashion, fast fashion, she just decided to basically go back to how garments were manufactured before and create limited editions of pieces that were meant to last forever, in the sense that the materials were good and also they were kind of timeless, in the sense that they're not following any particular fashion trend that's going on these days. They're just pieces that women can wear pretty much for the rest of their lives, because they're kind of timeless in that sense. And so, using referrals to start conversations. So again, the referral program, it's pretty simple. So it's give 30, get 30. And so, you as a customer, you get $30 discount on their next purchase that you get, and your friend can also start buying from Christy Dawn with $30 off. But the real reason why I think the referral program works so well beyond this is it's exactly what I've just explained. Kind of like this whole explanation on why people buy from Christy Dawn gives the product a lot of value, in the sense that, whenever asks, oh, where do you get that dress? They're not going to say, oh yeah, I got it on Amazon, or I got it online, or I got it, oh yeah, I'll find the store and send it to you. No, they know the name of the store. They know exactly why they bought that product, and they know what the company stands for. Also, one really cool thing that they do on their websites, that they have kind of like a blog section where they create a lot of content about people that work at the company, and also the artists that they collaborate with. So it's really, really rich content that it's not promotional at all. They don't really talk about, the products that they sell, or, any sort of promotions or anything like that. It's all about kind of like the community. So they have actually been able to build a community of people that buy from them because they believe in what the company stands for. So that's, if you get to that point, that's extremely powerful.
So one common thing that I see across all three, of course, the first one is that the products themselves are standout, and they have a ethos and a story that really resonates with people who use it, and will surely resonate with people who want to use it, right? So I think that's definitely, you are right, that's definitely the starting point. And I think the second thing that I see is how organically it amplifies word of mouth actually. So my question at the beginning of our conversation was, what's the difference? Actually, the answer for me now is that it's not different. It's actually an amplification. If you have good word of mouth and then adding a layer of a referral program to it can be such a low CAC way to grow your revenue and get amazing ROI out of your investment, right? Something for me to think about, like how do you even add great referrals back into softwares? I think that's like running in my mind as we're speaking about it. So I think considering all three brands have such beautiful, strong stories too, I had a question which was very, very straightforward. How does your brand and your product story weave into the referral program? And I think just to tear down all the three examples gave a very interesting perspective of it in three different ways. Both the importance of creating a community around your brand and your brand story, they have to be there for the referral to actually be organically way more successful, right? Without you having to burn and invest a lot more into making it work. Any kind of guidelines that you see in all the customers that you've seen working with you that you want to share with you?
I would say that the number one is exactly what you just mentioned, the share your brand story. So if you're a founder, and again, it doesn't really matter what industry you're on. If you started a business, you probably started for a reason. And so sharing your personal story, sharing that there's people behind the company, and kind of like sharing your journey as a founder, I think that really helps, and that really makes an impact. We see, a lot of companies out there that have kind of like our story section, and they have it on their kind of top navigation bar, so you can go and kind of like meet the people behind the company. That's super powerful. That don't ever, underestimate the power that can have on somebody that's just browsing your website, just being able to see and potentially getting reflected on your own story, kind of like seeing themselves on your story as well. So yeah, give kind of like a human touch to your product. Obviously, as we mentioned earlier, product has to be good. Make sure that your customer journey it's smooth, and make sure that again you have a kind of like a support team and support kind of like network around that you can help customers at any stage of the process. But as a product and as a company, don't underestimate the power of sharing the reason why you're in business, and that's going to help you create a community of people that believe in your brand mission, and they will be happy to refer because they just see reflected themselves on your brand.
So what's the future of referrals, and why is it so important for D2C brands now much more than ever?
I think it's kind of a summary of what we were just describing earlier about kind of like community marketing. I think that's really the future of referral marketing. So there's a couple of things that have happened the past couple of years that last year really that has kind of shifted the e-commerce world a little bit. So in terms of, obviously because of COVID, we've had a lot of new companies entering the space, a lot more competition, and that competition means not only in terms of products that are similar to yours, but at the same time, same people that are betting for or the want to advertise using the same keywords. So the competition also in the ad space has grown tremendously, and it's gotten a lot more expensive for companies to use that as a channel, in comparison to how it was 5 or even 10 years ago. So companies need to differentiate themselves a lot more, and obviously differentiate yourselves in terms of product is one thing, but at the same time, differentiating yourself as a brand, it's going to be crucial. So one thing that I like to always talk about, it's about the community marketing, in the sense that once again, all those things need to be in place, good product, good customer journey, everything. But on top of that, one thing that we've seen that works really well is that it's identifying what all of your customers have in common, and also what they have in common with you, but also what they have in common among themselves. So the example that we were showing earlier about Evolve Skateboards, there's one thing that all of their customers have in common. It can be that they like that particular brand, but the bottom line is that they love skateboarding. And so if you can create a community around those people, around their particular topic of what they like, that's going to be super powerful. That community can be, obviously depends on your audience, what's the best way to kind of get them in touch, but it can go from a Slack community to a Facebook group to even just like a hashtag on Instagram. The kind of like the way that Christy Dawn has been able to build a community is using Instagram, using their hashtags and getting people to take pictures of themselves wearing the dresses and sharing them on Instagram using that particular hashtag. We also have another customer that they're called a box of stories. They sell books, again, super competitive industry with a giant in the space like Amazon. But one of the things that has helped them a lot, it's to be able to build a community of people that love reading. reading. And so create kind of like an online reading club. And in that reading club, people don't really talk about the product itself. I mean, it's the community is sponsored in a way by the brand. So there's obviously, branding around, but the goal of that community is to talk about books. What are you reading right now? What's something that you liked? What would you recommend, etc. So again, find what unifies all of your customer base and provide them useful content first, not necessarily promotional content, useful content that they can use, and also put them in touch so they can share with each other. That's something I've seen pretty much on any industry out there. I've seen lots of examples of community marketing. So I honestly cannot really think of an industry that community marketing wouldn't work for. So
thank you so much. This really was extremely insightful, even for me. And I'm sure that a lot of the audience would be so excited to get back and try referrals, and do try ReferralCandy. And thank you for being on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.